that the birthday girl? Okay.
everyone for coming out today and celebrating my mom's 100th birthday. So we're going to sing happy birthday to her, and then if you could stay a little while longer, we're going to show a quick video about her life. And just celebrate all the wonderful things that she has done in the last 100 years. And if anybody wants to come up after the video to say something, you're free to do that. So, band.
No, it's not coming through.
It's not working. Just talk loud. You talk loud.
Oh, I can talk loud. I've been talking loud all my life. When you teach school on every level, you have to talk loud. And you have to love the Lord.
Amen.
That's absolutely necessary. So, I forgot what I was going to say. I live in a little house. And you can see the living room window from the kitchen. So we always gather in the kitchen. I could see the living room window from the kitchen. When I was ready to go to bed, and I said, well, I'm going to go to bed now. It's time for me to go. I looked and I saw into the living room window that the draper was blowing. The drapers were blowing. How is that window open? Found out it was open. It was blowing, and that was the way the good Lord was taking care of me. So close the window, and every day I check the windows to make sure that they're closed. But if you stay with the Lord, He will tell you. I stay with the Lord. And that's how I live, and along with all these wonderful relatives and friends. They've been taking care of me all my life. Thank you. Thank you.
Lateef, you ready? Okay. So this is my mother's baby brother, Frank Johnson. And tell them how old you are, Uncle Frankie.
I'm only 93.
Everybody.
So this is my Aunt Juette, and I'm sort of the oldest daughter who's a niece. So my mother and her and she are sisters. My mother died when I was 19, and so she's been my mother all along. Since then, she wanted to have me adopted and become a part of their family, but I said I have one mother and that was enough. So she's still Aunt Juette, and she's been just a wonderful inspiration to me and my 4 children and my husband Joe, who is somewhere. And we just are so happy to celebrate this.
Where's Joe? Joe!
Wait a minute.
He's coming. She's very demanding. So we are so pleased to have all of you come out and celebrate this really auspicious occasion. And we just love you so much, Aunt Juette.
This is my niece's husband, but I have adopted him, and he is now my son.
I don't have to say anything more.
I told him you're my son.
Now, I just want to say this. If you ever get the opportunity to be part of a family that loves you as much as this family does, and you know what family is like. I mean, we argue at each other, we holler at each other, we love each other one moment, and then the next moment we might be falling out. But because I'm from Alabama, and Angela's from D.C., and so when we were going to marry, her family said, "You sure you want to marry a Southern boy from Alabama? 'Cause, I mean, you're from Washington, D.C., but you all know about Southern boys, right? Yes. We're loyal, and we don't give up. We put our hands to the plow, and we don't look back. So that's the legacy that Aunt Juette and the family is leaving me. I love this family, and like all of you now are my family. And so when I bring my Alabama family together with all of you, it's going to really be a jam.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I was going to say something. I don't think this is working.
Yeah, you might have to-
Sometimes it is. Well, anyway, this is my Aunt Juette, who's my father's brother's wife. But that really says way too much, because this is my Aunt Juette. And as long as we've been coming to visit, first we were in New York coming to visit, then we were coming from North Carolina to visit, but the whole time, what I knew about my Aunt Juette was every day, regardless, she had company visiting, but she would leave in the morning and go to Mass. She would not be gone long, and then she would come back. And I mean, we used to just go on Sundays to church, but very special to me. And the first time that I felt like I really had difficulties, the first person of all the people I know in the world, the first person that I wanted to call to pray for me was my Aunt Juette, because I knew she was already there and things were already laid out, and it wouldn't take long to get my message where it needed to go. So I just always love her for her dedication and her faithfulness. And that is what I always remember, and that is what I will try to carry on to as well.
I'm not actually. I'm Benita Curtis. And
Somebody else wanted to say something?
I'm going to say something.
Oh, okay.
Thelma Johnson. You remember your super good friend, Thelma Johnson? That was my mother. She passed on March 1st. And she loved Juette. My mother owned a clothing store called the 3610 Shop for 43 years.
Yes.
And Juette was one of her favorite customers. She would come in the morning and stay 3 or 4 hours, and I think they had more fun just looking at clothes, talking about everything, especially the church, because my mother, like Juette, was a faithful follower at St. Francis and loved Juette. Velma loved you. And I'm here representing.
You too. I love you too.
Oh, anyway, we love you. I know my mother was right here, and she is here. She was singing happy birthday to you too. You are one of the sweetest women that I've ever met in my life, and so genuine and caring, and a phenomenal artist. I have owned 2 art galleries and never had the privilege of your art in it, but when I own the next one, I will, for sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Well, this is my Aunt Juette, but actually, she is my first cousin. It gets really confusing because when we were coming up, my father, Aunt Juette and I share the same grandfather. My father was the youngest of 6, and he was like child, one of those midterm or whatever, what do you call it? One of those, my grandfather was like in his 50s when he had my father. So, am I right? Am I on the right track, Aunt Juette? So, we have the same grandparents, but she didn't want me to call her cousin Juette because that sounds too country. So I have called her Aunt Juette all the time. I feel like she's my aunt anyway. But I mean, from my childhood, we treasured coming up to Washington, D.C., Uncle Terry and Aunt Juette. And that picture that you all got on your invitation, I remember when she looked just like that. And I'm telling you, Angie, myself, and Charles Gilmore, we were A, B, and C, Angie, Beverly, and Charles. We were the loves of her life. And then came baby A, baby B, and baby C. That pushed us back a couple of notches. But we love our Aunt Juette. And thank you, cousin, I was there, Aunt Juette. We love her. Thank you.
Everybody, I'm honored to be here because today is my birthday too. She's only
June 22nd.
Yeah, we're only 30 years apart. That's all. So thank you, Aunt Juette. Happy birthday.
Hello, everybody. My sister was here a minute ago, but I want to speak also on behalf of the Days. There are not that many of us that are here. My sister is here, Lydia. I'm Linda Day, and I wanted to say how much Aunt Juette marrying into our family, how much it meant to us to be that she was Juette Johnson Day. And on her all of her artwork, all of her many accomplishments, she was Juette Johnson Day. And that was a blessing for our family, and she's always been a blessing for our family, and I just can't be happier to be here to celebrate her 100th birthday with her. I'm her husband's brother's daughter.
Oh,
My Aunt Juette. The days, we're trying to be here, we're trying to be here. Okay, my Aunt Juette. Next.
They never want to go home. They want to be around you forever. We appreciate you being here for 100 years. You've affected everybody in this room. Everybody in this room you've had an effect on, whether it be mom, teacher, and any number of roles that you played in our lives.
Cousin, friend.
Right. And so we are blessed to have you. We want to have you another 100 years. We're going to do the best we can to keep you around.
He wants me around another 100.
Everybody in this room loves you dearly. It's untold the amount of love that's being cast out for you today. We're all here just for you on this special occasion. So, happy birthday, Mom.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashe. I'm the son of Joe and Angela Cook. So technically, Aunt Juette is my great aunt, but she's always been, was raised as her being my grandmother, because she was my grandmother. And I just want to say thank you, and I love you so much. And I was thinking about all the times, every birthday, she's always sent me a card for my birthday for as long as I can remember. And I think I got probably like $10 in every card. And it didn't matter for account of inflation. Every year I got my $10. And it was great, So I thank you for every year of that $10, because I was able to get all the things I need to get, So thank you so much, and I just love you guys so much, and thank you for being here.
Okay, so, hello, can you hear me? Hello, so my name is Donna, and this is my Aunt Juette, although I'm not a relative. But she's always been my Aunt Juette. Well, Maria was my best friend from birth. I'm a little younger than Maria, so they put me in her crib. 2 months. But my mother and Aunt Juette were very, very close friends, and my brother, whose name was Tuffy, I know many of you know him, was very close to the family as well, and I know the whole family. So I just want to say, Aunt Juette, I love you. I'm so glad I was able to be here. I know, and able to come down for your 100th birthday. Donna came down from Boston.
All of these people.
Has to say something because okay, you tell them who you are.
I'm Maria, or better known as Little Maria.
Little Maria.
Named after Maria and Teresa, wherever Teresa is here somewhere. So Aunt Juette is my godmother. Aunt Juette and my mother were very dear friends for many years, and Aunt Juette's home was like a second home to me. I spent many a days, many hours hanging out with Aunt Juette. What I remember most about being at her house, it was always so much fun. I loved going to see Aunt Juette because she was always full of joy and love, and she was such a positive person, always. I have never been greeted by Aunt Juette when she didn't have a big hug and a huge smile. And she's like that with everyone, which is why 100 years later, she's still here as positive and as cheerful and as beautiful as she's always been. So Aunt Juette, I love you dearly. Happy birthday, and I'm so happy to be here celebrating with you.
Really, my goddaughter. We went through all the formalities, and she is my real godchild.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. Say happy birthday, Grandma. I refer to her as grandmama. I'm Matthew, I'm her son-in-law, you all know that. She dropped the in-law a long time ago. Okay, and my mother told me to make sure that I said happy birthday to you. You're quite iconic. And I know we throw that term around a lot these days. But you can't hear me? Can you hear me?
There you go.
All right, I'm gonna have to eat it. I'm gonna have to eat it. But I was saying that she's quite iconic, really. I've never met a person who has been, as Lil Maria said, more loving, more caring, and the toughest part about being a Christian is forgiving. You know, I think often of the last 7 words, and she reminds me of that all the time. You heard her sit here and announce, you know, no God, no God, no God. I get that all the time, though. And that's very true. And of her, you know, she has that artist thing about it. It's not just the paintings. We saw an old dead tree the other day. And she said, isn't that beautiful? I'm not gonna tell you see. She saw an old tree and she said, isn't that beautiful? That was the artist in her. You know, I couldn't see it, but she could. And I just want to say we love you very much. And my mother, Aline, wishes you a very happy birthday. Thank you.
I'll find out.
Hi, my name is Sheila. I'm the caregiver of this wonderful lady. I came into her life about, I guess, a little over a year ago, and she's more like a grandmother in the family, just like my family. So I just want to say that I love her, and I'm glad that I was able to be here with her today. I told her I was coming. She thought I wasn't, but I'm here.
Brought my grandson for just a minute, but that's all right. He loves you too.
Okay, we have a short video about my mother's life, and hopefully you can see it. It's over here if you want to.
Franklin Johnson Jr. Their neighbor.
We're gonna start over.
The year was 1919. Woodrow Wilson was the 28th president of the United States. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, was signed. And in Richmond, Virginia, on June 22nd, a beautiful baby girl was born to Esther Boyd and Franklin Johnson Jr. They named her Juette Johnson. She was the second of 4 children born from them. In the 1920s, she attended public schools in Richmond, graduated from high school at the tender age of 13 and turned 14 a week later. Juette's parents, thinking she was too young for college, enrolled her in Vanderbilt Business School for a year. And after that, she enrolled in Virginia Union University, where she graduated at the age of 19 with a degree in mathematics and a minor in French. That same year, she obtained a teaching position in Covington, Virginia, where she taught for 3 years. This appointment was the start of a distinguished 40-year career as an educator, from elementary school to college. Subsequently, she moved to Washington, D.C. in 1949, where she continued to obtain teaching appointments at such schools as Shaw Junior High School, and later serving as the director of the art program at McKinley Technological High School, where gifted high school students from all over the city came to pursue an education in art. She also taught at D.C. Teachers College and the University of the District of Columbia. While Juette majored in mathematics in college, her real passion was in the arts. She started taking art classes at 12 years old at the local YWCA. From that point on, she incorporated art in her education. She would draw in her notebooks, which was soon noticed by her teachers. Juette discovered that she had a real talent while teaching in Richmond, when a woman, Beatrice Reyes, who was a product of the University of Paris, taught her art classes at the public library, where Juette's aunt was the city librarian. Ms. Reyes recognized that she was gifted and recommended that she pursue a career in art. The love of painting grew exponentially for me. Unfortunately, art was not a subject taught in the black colleges in Richmond, and the white colleges were segregated. Consequently, she performed graduate work at Columbia University and later applied for state aid to attend a non-segregated college in another state. She was accepted to Ohio State University. For one full session and 9 summers, she pursued the equivalent of a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master's of Fine Arts degree. She successfully earned her master's degree in 1954. Juette exhibited her paintings in her first one-woman show at Ohio State University in 1954. Since that time, she's exhibited her work in one-woman shows in notable places such as the Potter's House Gallery, Hyatt Regency Hotel, American Institute of Architects Library Gallery, the Canal House Gallery, the Sumner School Museum and Archives, the Foundry Gallery, the David C. Driscoll Center at the University of Maryland, and what is now known as the John A. Wilson Building, formerly the District Building, as well as the Richmond Public Library and the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia in Richmond. She has exhibited her work in group shows too numerous to count, both nationally and internationally. Though she has attempted to count them, it is estimated that her exhibitions in group shows number in the hundreds. Some of the places that she has exhibited internationally include Paris, France, Nairobi, Kenya, Beijing, China, New Delhi, India, and cities in Japan and Russia. Juette has received an abundance of honors for her work over the years, too many to name. Her work has been published in books and newspapers, both nationally and internationally, several times. And she has been featured as an artist on television, served as a panelist and lecturer on many occasions, and as a judge in art competitions. In addition, in 2012, Juette was featured in the spring exhibition presented by the Arts Committee of the Women's National Democratic Club. Her work is included in several collections, including those of institutions of higher education, museums, art galleries, and private collections. And of course, we can't celebrate Juette's 100th year of life without focusing on the most important part of her existence, her family. Here's how it goes. Juette leaves the small town of Richmond to explore the big city, Washington, D.C., in 1949. The sultry, young, educated, beautiful woman as she is, captures the attention of the most eligible bachelor in the world, Carrie Who's dancing, handsome, an all-American athlete, kind, considerate, and loving. Let's just say the it guy. All the women have been chasing for years without success. And what do you know? Lo and behold, just 3 months later they are married. A love affair that lasted until Terry's death in 1991. Juette is still in love with Terry and never remarried. They had 3 beautiful kids and 6 grandchildren and lived in Michigan Park in Washington, D.C., where Juette still lives. Terry and Juette made the perfect pair. They worked together, had a full social life, contributed to the community, worshiped God, and were the best parents in the world. Could you write a better story? Juette is simply the most kind, thoughtful, loving person walking the face of the earth now for 100 years. Just simply amazing. And guess what? The best part for us is that Juette isn't done yet. From your family, all your friends and parishioners, may you have many, many more years with us. Please